Good morning.
Hello, welcome. Guys, so this is my Rogue Fab tube bender. I'm going to do some modifications to it. So, right now we have air over hydraulic. I don't like how loud it is. So, the cylinder is making noise. The air compressor outside is making noise. Noise. So, I'm going to be changing that over to a hydraulic ram that's going to be controlled with an electric pump. So this is what we have here. Come on in, Eli. So this is a pump, I believe, that goes to a dump trailer. It's going to be running off a battery, and then the battery is going to be charged via a converter. One reason I went with this is because it's pretty cheap compared to an actual 120 volt pump. And then we have this hydraulic ram here. We have this log splitter valve, and yeah, let's get it assembled. So I'm gonna run the bender. You guys will be able to see how loud it is. Also, at the same time, I'm gonna take a measurement of how long it takes to bend a 45 degree. So let's get to bending. Okay, we hit 45 degrees. This thing's loud. You guys can probably hear the air compressor running in the back. That's a 30 gallon, so it constantly keeps running. I forgot to mention this tube is 1 3/4 120 wall H-root. So once we have the electric pump installed, we're going to run the same test and then see what the difference is. Get to assembly.
All right, Lex is about to put in work over here, and me and Nick are watching.
I don't know if you guys knew, that's Eli. He's my cameraman today. Yeah, let's get this thing disassembled. Let's pull the cylinder out.
Where's the PPE?
OSHA's not here. Alright, got the ram out. Quite a difference in size. Would you look at that? It's you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Let's see what we got going on here. So right off the bat, this doesn't fit in here. It needs like a 1/16 inch. Gotta open it up like either a 1/16. Yeah, we'll just do that. As you can see, the cylinder is collapsed all the way, and we are about, say, 3 degrees. I want to get that changed. This ram didn't fit how I wanted it to. It has to be pushed back a little bit. So instead of shortening the ram to make the zeros match here, I'm just going to drill another hole. It shouldn't really compromise anything. So I'm going to drill this hole out and that hole on the opposite side, and then I think that should give us the correct placement. Perfect. Still got a little bit of wiggle room in there. Pull this pin out, so I think this is gonna work. So it's a new day in the garage. I don't really remember where I left off yesterday, but we got this ram installed. We had to drill a new hole here to make it all fit. This way when it's fully compressed, we're still at 0. And reason I cut the video short the other day is because it's missing a fitting. So let's go over some of the stuff we have here. This is a 12-volt hydraulic pump. It's from a dump trailer. We got a control valve here. I believe it's from a log splitter. Got all kinds of fittings. A few hoses here. I will leave a description of all the fittings that I used because there's a lot of different threads and all kinds of stuff. I'll just leave it in the description. It'll make a little bit more sense later on. We're going to be using this start-stop instead of this right here. So you could run the bender with just this, forward and reverse, up, down, whatever. We'll be using this instead. I was looking at a video that JC Customs, he is running the exact same setup here, but he's using a different type of bender. But he ended up using this. He said it's easier to control when you're coming close to your desired bend. It's easier to control how much you want the bender to keep going. But this, it's just on and off. So yeah, let's get this thing installed onto the cart and then start doing the plumbing and see how far we get. This is where my pump is going to live. According to my calculations, my control valve is going to be somewhere, I believe, in this region here. I'm going to run the hoses and see exactly where I need it placed. We'll be putting 2 of these 90s on. For the control valve, we have a few fittings going on here. This is 3/8 BSPP. This is 1/2 inch BSPP. On this port, I'm running 1/2 inch BSPP to 8 JIC. And then from 8, we're going to 6. Same thing on this side. This side, we're running 3/8 BSPP to 6 JIC. Originally, I bought 2 of these 90s, but I realized you can't screw both of them on because they're standing right next to each other and they interfere. So I had to get a 3/8 BSPP to 6 JIC straight. And then from there, we're just going to add this 90. And it's going to turn out perfect. So let me get this tightened down. Okay, now for these ports that come off of the pump here. Gonna be going here, and same thing on the other side. So this hose is gonna be going up, and so we're gonna need to drill a big old hole over here for the hose to go through. There we Got that hole drilled. Let's see how we did. Now that we got this valve right where we want it, we will drill a hole. One right yonder. Let me just mark this location here, because once I take these hoses off, it's going to want to move it a little bit. So let me mark this so I know exactly where we're going to be. Perfect. We'll drill those through, bolted down with some random bolts that I had laying around. We got all the hydraulics hooked up. All the fittings are tightened. I hope so. But I think it looks pretty nice, pretty compact. Let's get the electrical done. Actually, I'll hook up the battery. We're gonna put some oil in there, run this pump, and see how it works with this thing, just to try it out for the shits and giggles. Let's get this battery hooked up. Beep bop boop beep ski bop. Got the electrical done. It's basic. Positive to positive, negative to negative. Now I gotta fill this tank up. I got some hydraulic fluid for it. Where'd it go? Right yonder. The tank says it's 8 liters, so we'll see what these 2 gallons do for me. I might have to run down to the store and get some more, but let's get that poured in there, and let's see if this pump works. Let's get some fluid poured up in here. Oh, nice. It's got even a little dipstick on here. Let's check this dipstick, see where we're at. They're about right there. So, I think I'll run the pump. Probably gonna need to bleed some of the air out, but I want to see what it's gonna do. Oh, we got some movement. And we got some leaks. I guess I forgot to tighten down this fitting right here. Found another leak. Would you look at that? That was exciting. So now we have to remove this whole thing, and we will be installing this switch. So it's going to be, instead of me pressing and holding this button, I'll just press the on button. Pump is going to be running, and I will be actuating this. If I want it to stop, just press the stop button, and that should kill all powers. We're going to need to open up this box and check what the wiring is. This is a momentary switch, and this one is just going to be straight on and off. So let's see what's inside of here. Before I actually do that, let me turn off the power to the battery before I fry something, or fry myself. Let me bust out my multimeter. Sometimes I kind of wish I had 3 hands, but I'm really glad that I don't. So I got the switch figured out. We have power coming in here, 12 volts. And when I turn this button to the on position, it closes this contact, so it sends power to the pump and to the solenoid. So now I have all this wire here. I'm gonna cut the wire, feed this wire through this hole, and then we're gonna mount the box somewhere right yonder. That looks about right. Now let's connect our terminals. There we have it. Functioning switch. Let me clean this whole mess up. So I want to show you guys something over here where the RAM connects to the bender. As you can see here, we have quite a bit of space. It moves around and it wobbles around. So this is the original adapter that Rogue Fabs supplies. This is the same end that would be on the hydraulic ram. So this hole is 3/4 of an inch. This hole is 5/8. So we need a reducer to get us to 5/8. And then I found these. So I keep a whole bunch of old Heim joints around. This is perfect. So this fits right on there. Goes on there. Now we have these spacers and a reducer all in one. I will leave a link in the description. I got these from, these are original Rough Stuff Heim joints that I had laying around. They do sell these bushings, adapters, whatever they call it. Yeah, so that is gonna go for that part of the ram bender. And then for this one, this is the same thing. So this is 3/4 of an inch hole. And our bolt is 5/8. So I ordered a shaft reducer. I think it's like for a motor or something. When that comes in, I'll get that installed, but you guys get the idea. You just put the bushing right inside, cut it down the exact same length, and then put your bolt in. That's gonna prevent a whole bunch of foot right there. You guys can hear there's some slop in there. Let's throw that bushing on that side. Put these bushings right up in there. Nice tight fit, just like OJ's glove. And there we have it, minus this bushing, which I will install later. My bushing finally came in. So this is a 3/4 to 5/8 shaft adapter. We'll be using this in here to remove this slop. So what I'll have to do, I'll just have to cut it to the same width as this mounting for the ram, shove it in there, and that will be, we'll call it good. Let's get this cut down. Slide this bushing in here. And just like that, there's not much slop in here anymore. That will finish the installation process. It's all nice and tight now. We still have some adjustments to make here, but that's good because we're not all the way at 0. We don't want to be starting at 0. So we still have some slack when we put these blocks in here. All right, guys, let's see how fast we can go from 0 to 45 degrees. And bam. How fast was that? As we saw from the demonstration video, this thing does move pretty damn quick. Sometimes it might be a little too quick. So we can play around with the lever. Man, it's fun. It's fun messing around with this thing. Let's talk about the bender. So this does have a few drawbacks. One is that it's powered by 12 volts. So I gotta keep the battery charged all the time. Not that it's that big of a deal if you're not doing a whole bunch of tube all at once, that's fine. But you will have to keep the battery charged. Another thing is this is a double acting ram, so there's going to be no spring back, so you won't be able to know how much it springs back. So you'd have to do your own calculations and testing. The other thing is it is very quick. So playing around with the lever right here, it's very twitchy, so you have to get used to it. I could see myself overshooting if I'm not careful, so just a little bit can get this thing moving. Make sure your hand doesn't slip or else it's gonna go wham. But anyway, that's a few of the drawbacks. I am very excited to use this. I hate using the air. It's loud and the compressor's running, this thing's running, and it's very slow, especially if you only have a small air compressor. But it's pretty loud out there. It's some airplanes flying. But overall, so far so good. So that's it for this project, guys. Leave a like, drop a comment, write whatever you want. Did I mess up on something? How I can improve? Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next project. It's gonna be very interesting. Bam! That's it.